You too, buddy. What song is this? Let me be the.
It's off of Love Boat.
Where is it on there? I'll never be untrue. Oh, it's Al Green. It's Let's Stay Together.
Coming up on today's Wade and Carter show, the Astros, highs and lows, Cowboys just low, Allen West in a little bit of a hot spot, all that and more. And we've got a new city council member in Victoria, all that coming up on today's Wade and Carter show.
It's way too much. Show me the weather. me. 73 to.
Now let's do this.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Phone just froze.
Well,
look at almost
it's Monday. You can't.
Trying to get you this. So
I
you
got
have
it.
something. Okay, good. I'm glad. So let's do this.
Folks, the totally discombobulated Monday morning weather brought to you by the great folks at Deerland Feed. They don't hold it against us that we have technical/mental difficulties on a Monday morning.
Well, there were things unplugged that I had to plug back in.
Right.
We don't have to plug back in.
Right.
So we're getting it sorted out.
73 degrees in Victoria, heading to a high today of 90. I don't know if there's any
96.
chance of showers.
I don't think so.
There you go.
Now the slight 5 to 10% cover your butt chance. That's it.
Yeah, it's the one where it rains but it doesn't touch the ground.
Yeah, pretty much.
73 to
Yeah,
96.
slight chance all week.
Gonna be hot.
Gonna be hot.
Steamy, balmy.
Astros were hot until yesterday.
Yeah. They
12
dropped.
runs on Friday night. They win 12-3. 15-1 Saturday night. Then yesterday they lose 6-3.
They had at least 19 extra base hits over that 3-game series. They had 17 going into yesterday, and they finally dropped one. You know, you win 2 out of 3 in big league baseball. You go to the World Series.
Yeah, you're in pretty good shape. That'd be 666 on the winning percentage, right?
Yeah, that'd be
My
pretty good.
math is right.
Mm-hmm. It'd be 100 wins a year. Kind of hard to
enough, yeah. Which
Kinda hard to
they've
beat
done the
that
last few
team.
days or last couple seasons.
Yeah.
Anyway, so how was your weekend? You got a chance to go float the river or just
Well,
up that way?
we chose not to. Those of you that have gone to Concan, when you go down the river run, you go down to that where the big parking lot is on the left, and then the river flows across the road right there. That low water crossing had about 2 inches of water going across it, and it was.
You didn't want to go into the human toilet.
That's all you're doing is standing in everybody's urine. So we just stayed in the pool. The pool was nice. And there's a river and a pool. Pool would be good for me.
Yeah. Good.
But ate good. Lots of steaks.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Ask me.
Because you posted a picture of you and T-Lat.
Sure.
And how lucky you are
Sure.
that you have Dawn. What did you do that was so egregious that you had to put that up there?
I put the picture up. She wrote the caption. No, not really. No, you know how blessed I am. People think that that's like nobody's really that happy. And we're not perfect. We're not happy all the time. But
that's usually a suck-up move for something you did wrong.
Or something I wanted to do right. You have to look at the fact that was late afternoon.
I know what it was. It was a preemptive strike for whatever you were going to do wrong that night, right?
Right.
Okay, I got it. Good. Now I know how you. I know that. Good. I was just curious.
It was a nice, relaxing weekend, and got a busy week coming up, so it's gonna be. But folks, I don't know. I need you folks to help me. Dawn is designing a ticket right now. The Wade and Carter Lido deck party that's going to happen at Club Westerner on October 8th. We need a couple of hundred of you there. We need it. or we can't do it again. It can't just cost us money. We've got to find a way to defray costs. We're not trying to make any money.
No, very least break even.
We want to sell tickets
But have a good time.
$10 a head. You've got, you can bring your own bottle, so the evening will be inexpensive.
You can buy beer.
You can buy beer there, and we may be able. We're working on a sponsorship or two that may involve some drinks
and some maybe and some party favors.
Yeah, so we're working on that, but we need to collect $10 a head. Live music, a band you haven't heard that I have heard. So I need people to say, "Hey,
we're going."
$10 a head. I mean, it costs you that to go into some of the bars in town that have DJs.
True that.
Think about, please, how to get the word out. I'd love to have people buy them.
Good time.
I'd love to have people buy them 10 at a time and give them to their friends. Give them to those homeless guys on the street. That'd be awesome to have people standing in the back of the club with like signs. Every little bit helps. They can compete for it. We can make them dance for money. Tiny dancer for money.
Okay. Yeah, that'll bring them in.
No, for real though. Yeah. Be thinking about it. We want you there October the 8th. It's a Friday night.
Club Western.
Probably something like 7:30 to midnight. It's gonna be a good time.
A good time. Great time.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
Ash and I'll be there. Ash will sign autographs. I'll just try to stay out of the way.
I'm gonna have my corncob pipe and my captain's hat.
Hey, matey. It'll be great. What do you make of? Let's just jump right into. Well, first of all,
Scott Tomko's in, Marvin Mickers, good morning, Justin Glass, Kendra Douglas, Andy Rhea Jr., Adam Daughtry, Judge Posey, David Glass, Torrin Bales in, Rob Moore Knipling, Clint Ives, Bobby Leister, good morning, Leisterometers holding steady, Patrick Strauss, Diane Tippett, Stephen Kidder, H.R. Mallory, Amanda Smith King, Robert Brown Jr., good morning, Christina Wise, James Kurth, back to the grind. Steve Kidder calls us Ren and Stimpy.
Right. Good morning, Judge Posey. Good morning, TB. TB, I got some follow-up for you. I'll just share it here in a second.
Scott Snow, good morning. Let's see. Tracy Price, Natalie Mayer, Lisa Poole.
This is David
Brogger checking in.
Good morning, David.
There's T-Lat. Scott Tomko, Bobby Sparkman.
I don't know what
Scott Tomko says, "Oh my God, a super spreader event." I think he's referring to a party.
On in. Yeah. Just come on in, and we're all immune.
Lisa Poole, Steve Kidder says he'll be there with his -1 or -2, or is that +1 or +2? I can't tell.
It's a plus. He might bring 2. Depends on if his date has a date. You know how that works.
Terry Murray, Roy Gutierrez, Jordan Glass, J. Mark Jameson. Jim Simpson, Mike Blosky, saw Mike and Amanda Blosky yesterday. Look
Mike and Amanda will be at that party. Mike and Amanda will be at that party.
Iceman is in. Jennifer Rayburn. Oh, look at her bringing value and content this morning. Create an Eventbrite page. People can stockpile payment there. RSVP.
TB will be there. I mean, it's not the $10 a head that I'm worried about. It's the volume. I need 200 people there. And
well, we wanted to have fun. No party by yourself's no fun.
Right.
Mike Dalton checking in from Florida. Good morning. We're huge in Florida this morning.
Yeah, we are big. Good morning, Mike.
Ricky King.
Mike has a second home over there in Florida. In fact, if you ask Mike, of course he came from Florida. He'd rather be in Florida. And good for him. He's probably getting ready to go fishing.
So where do we want to jump right in?
Well, we're going to jump right in. I was going to tell Torrin. So folks, we're blessed to have, no matter how you feel about any of the stuff, just to have a guy with a creative mind like Torrin he'll take a piece of old real estate and refurb it and rehab it. And the next thing you know, it's leased out to somebody at a reasonable rate, and everybody's a winner. You take an empty building, you clean it up a little bit, you plant some lantana, and the next thing you know, somebody leases it. I know my insurance agency is in one of Torrin's buildings, and we're thrilled. He's the world's greatest landlord. So Torrin and I were visiting the other day. We both, he more passionately than I, but we both share a vision of a much more vibrant downtown Victoria. And when I say more than me, Torrin actually lobbies for these things. He reaches out to people. What if we did this? What if we did that? And you know where 205 is, and then the 207 next to it. Well, to the left of that, or to the east or north of that, is that empty parking lot that used to be a bank drive-through. Well, the county bought that. The reason the county bought that was because the county owns the old Advocate building next door, is their emergency center or whatever. And because of the size of the building, they can't put any offices in there until they get more parking. So
Gotcha.
you know, it's like ADA garbage. You know, you got to have so many parking spots for so many square feet. So they bought the lot. Well, Torrin came up with the idea, or Torrin and some friends came up with the idea that it might really be cool to scrape that, make that parking lot flat for the county park, workers, but also build a pavilion on it, just columns and a roof, so you can move the farmers market back downtown. You'll recall the farmers market used to be downtown, and now it's on the tarmac at Patty Dodson Center, the least attractive place in Victoria. I mean, just go to the gas station and take a right. It's right there. Well, Torrin says, hey, let's drive those people back downtown, and there's some synergy going on. The Innovative Collective is coming in, and the new restaurant, I don't mind saying, it's called El Paso, is going to be fantastic, is going in where Soiree is currently, or was. That space has been leased, and those people are doing their finish out. There is a little bit of momentum and some synergy there that says, hey, put the farmers market downtown. It's pretty. You can walk to restaurants instead of walking to a gas station. I guess you could, in theory, walk across Airline to Navarro. To Shipley's from the Patty Dodson. But in general, it's a terrible location for anything other than cars. And the feedback I got was not negative. It wasn't anti-downtown. The feedback was, whoa. The last people that want to move down there are the vendors from the farmers market.
Yeah. That
they're saying that their foot traffic went up 150% by moving to the Patty Dodson. And then it's like, well, we still want the pavilion down there. We want to be able to have art shows down there and stuff that drives people downtown. I'm hoping Ben Zillner's listening. I know Clint Ives is on. I'd like to see the county, even if they just end up making it be like covered parking, not to mention the pavilion itself being right next door to the building for all the emergency stuff, might be a great place to distribute
triage stuff.
To distribute things. I like the idea of a nice flat asphalt parking lot with a pavilion on it. Now, all I'm talking about is 4 open sides and a roof. And I think if you build
it doesn't have to be a $300,000 bandstand.
No, Raleigh's not going to design it.
James Kerr says there's plenty of street to park on. And that was going to be a point. Why do you got to buy a parking lot?
They had to.
You got street. I know.
That
makes no sense.
That was the law. They had to buy a parking lot.
What happened to the parking lot across the street?
Which one?
Yeah, the one that the Advocate used to own.
It's privately owned. It was owned by the people that own the Advocate. They have the house across the street too. Yeah. So if you build it, they will come. Don't forget though, the county bought that building for $100,000. FEMA paid the rest, or the government, somebody else. Your tax dollars paid the rest.
Got stuck with a huge cleanup bill too for that.
Yeah, still a huge bargain though. I mean, bought it for nothing. And if you put solid waste in there, it's better than when the Advocate was there. So the Advocate's kind of fallen out of favor again. I'm starting to hear that they're kind of doing some kind of backhanded pieces on a couple of folks. I don't read it, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
By the way, hats off to Dwayne Crocker. Welcome aboard, sir. Glad, for the campaign to be over. You and Chad Hall, I think, both did gladiator work. As did Lee and Aaron and Geisman, Mr. Geisman, Joe.
About 1,800 voters, roughly, I think, turned out to the polls. So
one precinct, one
district. But from what I had heard, something like 12,000 registered voters in that district.
Kind of sad.
Yeah, it is. It really.
It is funny.
But I mean, and Chad worked hard. He made
Really
up quite
hard.
a bit of ground.
He really did work hard, and is a fine gentleman. Yep. He's a great guy. So,
but I hope I think District 3 will be well served. Dwayne, with his legal background, I urge you to jump right in and please go read the new proposed dog ordinances because, yeah,
not good.
It needs a lot of work, and I'll be honest, I'm not sure that anyone on council did more than just give it a quick perusal before it was read. The first reading last week.
You have a glaring issue? Is there something that glares?
Yeah, Caleb and I got into it on Friday. I don't want to rehash it all, but I think August 30th is the next city council meeting, and I'm sure there will be a boatload of people there because at first blush, and I talked to a council member about my issues with it. It's going to be like, and Caleb pointed this out, it's kind of like any sort of gun law. Never hurts those that break the law, only hurts those that abide by the laws.
Right.
And the responsible dog owners, responsible pet owners will be the ones most hurt by this. And with some proposed fees for dropping dogs off at animal control, dump dogs are just going to skyrocket.
Yeah, you've got to absorb that as a community. You can't. No. You want to charge you $10 to drop your dog off.
Yeah.
Because then again, the only person paying that's the responsible guy. The irresponsible guy just goes out to anywhere with precinct 4 and drops off their pets.
Drop them everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Riverside Park, I think, Tracy.
Why is it that
places for dumping pets too?
Lawmakers in general live in these Pollyannic ivory towers where they just think this makes sense. We'll just charge people $10 a dog to drop them off. Guess what? $10 a dog, they're just letting them go in the neighborhood. You pick them up for free.
Gosh,
why is it that lawmakers are in general stupid? They are. I mean, go ahead and call it what it is. That's a dumb ordinance.
James Kerr says rather authoritarian move. Start with enforcing existing laws and ordinances. Yeah, I discussed that as well, and I think there's just animal control itself needs more resources. That facility was underbuilt when it was built for the problems that we have and the volume that it brings in. It does not have much in the way of enforcement authority and does not have enough staffing either. Fix those 3 things and you might have a more workable solution at animal control that might help some of the issues, because then they can actually go after the problematic pet owners and those that chain a dog to a tree and leave them without food and water and shelter in times of extreme weather, and backyard breeders and all the problems that will not be solved by this ordinance.
Yeah, and I don't know what you're going to do. I mean, I love the idea of having a community where no animals get put down. But we're a long way from there, folks. I mean, you've got people that don't spay and neuter their pets, and at that point, they're not pets. They're just reproducers waiting to reproduce. And then they don't know what to do with all the puppies, and then everybody wants a Labrador until they have one for 6 months, and all the furniture's chewed up and they poop everywhere. Then you don't know what to do with them. Hi, Jeff Finley. So I don't know how you've got to educate the public. I don't know how this is not a problem that's ever going to go away. And there's always going to be a problem with strays. And I mean, you can only pick up so many, and you've already got a dozen.
Almost.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. And I'm not picking up anymore.
If you have a dog out on the streets and don't know who to call, just call Alan's Wrecker Service, 578-6300. Alan will dispatch somebody, and that animal will disappear. 578-6300. That's Alan's Wrecker Service, the VCS companies for all your communication needs, period. If you need your alarm system to communicate with the monitoring center, if you need an iPhone 12 Pro Max, if you need, fire extinguishers, if you need
tablets for back to school,
they've got it all. Just go by and see. And only locally owner authorized.
Hotspots. You live in an area that doesn't have good Wi-Fi, get a hotspot.
Yep. They can help you. Chesnick Furniture Company for 101 years in downtown Victoria, 70 at their current location, 71.
71 now.
Bobby Leon and his family have been showing you that Chesnick and Love make your house a home. You just do better at Chestnut. Get by there and let Bobby and his family make your house wonderful. And today, welcome back, Veracruz. Every week they come back on a Monday.
They do.
It's like what were they? The Martins of Saint Tropez or somewhere. What were they? I made that up.
You did.
Somebody knows. Steve Kidder don't know what I'm talking about. Where they just come back every year, every Monday. Veracruz reopens.
Swallows of Capistrano?
I think that could be it. The Birdman of Alcatraz? I don't know.
I don't know. The Bats of Austin?
I don't know, says Bill Cosby. Veracruz today. Veracruz be great for you. And call AJ Villanueva. AJ's Detailing. Go check out his Facebook page, AJ's Detailing.
Yeah.
It's a smart name for AJ's
is.
Detailing. Go check it out because he is.
You mean a guy named AJ that details cars? Has AJ's Detailing?
What are the odds? What are the odds that Lou Gehrig got Lou Gehrig's disease? Think about that.
What are the odds?
It's impossible. What does James Kerr say? Man, that's a lot to read on a Monday.
It is. Ever see the guy that goes to the city council and commissioner meetings and explains the animal control issues in the trailer park he lives in? He's been going for a few years. I know exactly what he's going to say.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was there last week, too.
I know that guy. After a while, hey.
Sounds like a trailer park association issue, too.
The guys down the hall have meth and then their dogs are out. And like when I go by, they bark at me. Just wonder if you guys could do something about it. And that guy's been there for years.
Yeah.
It's just nothing else to do.
But
so
therein lies the problem.
You want to talk about Alan West a little bit?
Yeah, I got into a little bit of a flap over the weekend. Was it Friday night that it all sort of started to unravel?
I think so.
So
tell him what we know.
His wife got pulled over for suspicion of driving while intoxicated.
No, she did not.
No.
She got pulled over because she changed lanes without a blinker.
Okay. That's why they pulled her over.
They pulled her over, folks, for changing lanes without a blinker. Now, I've been pulled over for that, and I laughed at the officer. The officer came up to my window and said, "You have any idea why I pulled you over?" I said, "No, I know I wasn't speeding. Back there on Navarro, you changed lanes without a blinker." And I went, you pulled me over for that? Really? Ain't you got something else to do?
Yeah, okay. She got pulled over for that, and then in the course of the interaction on the side of the road, ended up getting arrested for suspicion of driving while intoxicated.
Apparently could not perform some of the sidewalk aerobics that they want you to do when they pull you over.
But apparently did pass the breathalyzer.
And had not had any alcohol.
According to Lieutenant Colonel West, he has the receipts that show that there was no alcohol purchased on that tap.
At that table at PF Chang. Throw in the fact, folks, that due to the same family type issues that all of us face, Grandma West had their grandson with her in the back seat. So not only did they pull this grandmother over, they pulled her over and accused her of DWI with a toddler or a
which
baby.
Raises the charge
a lot. And so I tried to.
And I don't think it was a driving while black issue, because I believe the officer that stopped her was a black female as well, if I recall. Somebody who has maybe a little bit more, better recollection than I.
And it wasn't a racial issue. That's not to mention, once you find out that the lady is the wife of someone running for governor, the racial side of it should probably go away. But the fact that you folks hear Alan West on our program all the time, he is so confident, so perfectly composed, and so accountable.
Emotions might have got the better of him.
I think they did. And to me, the fact that emotions got the best of him, the fact that he didn't craft a response, the fact that he didn't, lay out, hey, she was at a party and I'm quite confident that she only had 2 drinks over a 3-hour period, yada, yada. That did not happen.
So you mean he wasn't concerned about the politics of the situation and how it might negatively affect him? Right. He was more concerned about his wife and the family and clearing the name of somebody who may have been stopped appropriately and arrested for something that
she didn't
absolutely wasn't done.
Which is what makes me believe, just the way that we have visited with Colonel West and the way he responded to this situation make me think that she's absolutely innocent and that he just said, whoa, this did not happen. I can't believe that, I want somebody to apologize. Steve Kidder says having a kid in the car makes it a felony.
Amy Mundy says, I understand he's upset. I can't imagine, but he should. And I agree with you this. He did blast the officer, including her first initial, last name, and badge number. And I don't necessarily – I don't agree that
I agree with you.
Was the right tact. Christina Wise asked a pretty good question, though. Was she targeted because of his run? And that is – I hate to say this. One of the first things that came to my mind when I heard about this.
Because I don't think he's alleged that, though. He has not said that.
No, he has not. But I've been to enough P.F. Chang's. I don't ever see anybody walking out of there sloshed. It's not like P.F. Chang's is your, party headquarters on a Friday night. That's where you go to get the party started, right? Nobody's going there for happy hour.
And you're a grandmother with a baby. Picture the situation. This is an educated woman. She's got her grandbaby. Because of family issues, people had to be here, there, and other places. She said, hey, I'll take the boy. I'll take the grandson. My friends will love to see him at P.F. Chang's. Do you really picture her having about 5 martinis, bouncing the grandbaby on her knee? I mean, common sense has to enter this equation. I've never met the lady unless she's just a less than closet raging alcoholic. This just didn't happen. You don't put the grandbaby on your knee while your husband's running for governor and pound a bunch of booze. I just don't believe it happened. And she said, she told the officer, I'm sorry I can't get your breathalyzer right, but I'm having a hard time. She said she tried 3 times to take the breathalyzer, and she said, I don't know why I'm doing this. I drank water with lemon.
And lemonade.
You're going downtown, lady. You're going downtown with me.
Stephen Kidder says, if you follow someone, the driver will commit a driving offense at some point. Yesterday, I was coming home. I changed lanes probably 4 or 5 times without the blinker.
Right.
Yeah.
By the way, I didn't get a ticket that day, but I got a stern talking to. You need to use your blinker. Yes, ma'am, I will. And it was a female officer. She was very nice. She later pulled Dawn over and gave Dawn a ticket. That's the way it goes.
But on the flip side, as somebody running for office, emotions got the better of them, maybe a little bit more calculated.
Yeah,
taking right to social media might not have been the best tact. It's certainly going to come back to haunt.
I imagine
on the political trail.
I think it will too. I imagine his thought process was, this is going to spread like wildfire. I need to get out in front of it and tell people, hey, this is ridiculous, and here's all the reasons it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'd like to see the body cam footage of this, and I'll give you an incident with where roadside sobrieties are tough. Going back to my college days, which began at Washington State 30 years ago about this time.
30 years ago.
But roommate was the designated driver, mainly because he was broke.
He couldn't afford to get
exactly. So he's driving everybody home after and kind of cuts a corner, right? Doesn't go all the way, make the 90. Police out there pull him over.
And rightfully so. They're looking
for things that,
they want to save your life.
Cold out, nervous as all get out because he just got pulled over from another country.
Good point.
Goes through the roadside sobriety.
How many times did he say he was sorry? Sorry.
Hadn't been drinking, but could not pass the roadside sobriety.
They took him down?
No. But they
just slept in the car?
Parked the car, and we all had to walk home from there. Because out of country, I don't think the cop wanted to do all the paperwork associated with an international DUI. But case in point, roadside sobrieties can be very unnerving. Because I've witnessed it. We were laughing at him. Oh, he's got this easy, and he didn't pass it. They're kicking us out of the car and told us to walk home.
So James Kurth, political genius, says it's okay to not get in front of it and have one distinct, solid address to the situation and then put it to bed and be done. Dragging it out as a social media mini drama ain't good. It has already disenfranchised a lot of LEOs.
Well, and that's part,
that,
and this is something else that we need to talk about on this, because he went out and said his grandson was endangered by being in the care of the two law enforcement officers.
Which is terrible.
Family came along.
Yeah.
Which
I don't know.
I don't know the street. Was it a busy freeway? I don't know. Sitting in a car on the side of a busy freeway may not be the best. It might have been a police car. I don't know. I don't know all the details. But making that statement did not help him with law enforcement, who a lot, I think, probably had backed him or were going to back him.
H.R. Mallory says the cops got a blood warrant signed by a judge. So, H.R., if I'm understanding correctly, they would go in
yeah.
very quickly. And
we also had a FISA warrant too, remember?
They would draw some blood to try to see if there was any alcohol in their system.
We're waiting on that.
What happens, Ash, if there is no alcohol in their system? Is there just an apology? Is there, you drove, I had a suspicion. I mean, I'd have to back up the cops on this one, unless I start to feel like, the officer's last name is Abbott. That could be a challenge.
I'd like to see some of the body cam, dash cam, just to see what actually went down, to see.
And guess what? If that's not released, that kind of puts another check over there by Colonel West.
Yeah, they'll look for alcohol and drugs in the blood. Jennifer Rayburn says, add in a person of a certain age dressed up, not wearing sneakers, not necessarily an easy feat.
Right. No doubt. She's a grandmother, I tell you what,
HR's, his sense of entitlement in this process is off-putting. And some of that came across, I will admit.
I agree, HR.
I mean, if this is you or me, we're probably not going to social media.
I probably would.
Well, you probably would. Doesn't mean we won't fight it, but I'm not sure any of us have the platform like he does to do this.
H.R. Mallory says you can be DWI on things besides alcohol. Good point.
Yeah, no, I know. You can. Intoxication is not limited to alcohol.
Zach Smith.
Either is under the influence.
Always on topic. Have a great day, folks. Thanks, Zach.
Are we far enough out that the voters or potential voters will forget this, or does this hurt his campaign?
I think it's definitely it's certainly not going to help his campaign. It's not like, because of the way HR points out that he could be viewed as someone with a sense of entitlement, that's never going to help you.
No. And last night he put a video out there demanding an apology by the end of business Tuesday at his door.
Right.
I mean, they probably won't even have the blood work back by then.
Right. Justice Rotowski says that he agrees that in his anger and hate he struck out. And
anger and haste.
Sorry, I missed this.
You missed this.
But that's
hate. It changes.
Is that and James Kurth pointed out yesterday that it's the military background that you're taught to act and react and make a difference right now. And I understand both sides of it. He had a forum, so he utilized that forum. And looking back, I just think.
Or do we want a guy in office who's going to fight for injustice and stand up for those who've been wrong?
Well, he did make a legitimate point, because they're letting people just walk right through our border when they arrest my wife. I think he's
it's not state cops, but
I know. It's apples and oranges, but it sounded good.
But Dallas PD let a bunch of people rioting.
Well, it's true. It's true. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll reach out to our own Chief Arredondo today, and I'll ask him. He's got obviously deep connections in DPD, and I'll see what I can ferret out. Folks, today's a great day to go to Atzenhoffers.com. Atzenhofer, the Atzenhofer dealership since 1926. Quite simply, Victoria's car dealer. Whether you need Cadillac, Mazda, Mitsubishi, or a Chevy, They've got them all, and they are starting finally to get some pre-owned vehicles on the lot. It's very, very difficult now to find new cars. I went into the showroom, and there's none.
New anything right now.
None in the showroom. So gently pre-owned vehicles at Atzenhofer are the best of the best. They only keep the ones on trade that they want to sell there. The rest get shipped off to auction. So if you buy it, you can buy it with confidence at Atzenhofer. Shop today at atzenhofer.com, and you'll be glad you did. White Trash Services, 550-1826. BJ Nelson, Scott Nelson, Carl, their team, they're ready to serve you and your family. If you're in the 7-county region, they can do weekly trash service. They can do roll-off dumpsters. They can bring a dumpster to you in town for a cleanup project. You got a site. You want to make a difference. Honestly, you want to make a difference. Go down into South Victoria, buy one of those homes that nobody's lived in since before Harvey, and just raise it, tear it down, load it up in one of those big old dumpsters, and clean that lot off. You do everybody a favor. 550-1826. They'll be glad to help you. Razor IT Solutions, JP Hull and his team are working around the clock. He told me he's been
feverishly working on his fantasy football team right now.
Right now, he's working on that. He's also sweating the over for the Astros. I think it was 97. Am I right?
I think so.
He'll know.
I think the bar was set at 96, and they took the over.
I think so. Let us know, JP.
Or 96.5. Wasn't there a half in there this year? For some
I think
reason
so.
That sticks. I don't know.
Let us know. Hi, Jeff Fonseca. Hope you're doing well. Razor IT Solutions will help you with encryption, with your data, with managing your data, your website, your presence, your brand.
Understanding your data.
They can help
you grow.
They can do it.
The law offices of Stephen Kidder.
Stephen knew, for example, right off the top of his head, you have a baby in the car. When you get a DWI, it becomes a felony. It's not ideal. It's a big deal. So when you need help on the legal front, reach out to Steve Kidder. He's a friend of the show. He's a friend of yours. I promise. Stephen Kidder is a confidential ear to go to.
I got a friend in Steve.
Like a bridge over troubled water.
You got a friend in Steve.
Steve will lay it down. The complete 360, complete nutrition right here.
360 Health Bar. I went there Thursday for lunch. I got the ham and pear panini. Oh my God.
Ham and pear was good. Because we usually get the
adobo turkey.
Adobo.
This ain't Boxcar Willie.
The homeless turkey.
I got the ham and pear panini and phenomenal sandwich.
Trailers for sale.
Pear and ham, 50 cents.
That's right.
That was really good. So stop on by. I recommend it.
I ain't got no cigarettes.
You're not going to get those at the Health Bar either.
That's
Hence
right.
the Health Bar.
Get there and do it.
Yeah.
Justin says, give Ash a napkin. He's drooling.
I was thinking of the ham and pear.
Patrick Strauss says that's his favorite. Folks, we're glad you support these people, and we hope that when you go, you mention Wade and Carter.
H.R. Mallory wanted to say that's not what he said, Brent. He said he accused police of letting violent criminals go but arrest grandmas.
Oh, there you go. See that?
And when I first heard that and saw that, I that's why I didn't pay a lot of attention to this on Friday or Saturday morning when I saw it, because I didn't realize he was talking about his wife as the grandma. I thought there was some episode or something happened in that, and then
or just in general.
Yeah. So, but
HR, always remember, HR, you're one of the good guys, and no, there you go. Go ahead and read. I understand him backing his wife and can appreciate that, but making baseless accusations against law enforcement officers and his grandson being unsafe while he was waiting for family to get there takes
I'm not sure they did anything different that they would. I mean, do you sit there with the person you're arresting for suspicion of driving while intoxicated until family comes to get the child? To me, wouldn't that just potentially leave you in a situation that could be escalated even further, because there's the family member cuffed and stuffed in the back of a cruiser, and the child probably crying, not knowing exactly what's going on, and then all of a sudden you got family members showing up. I could see that being a big issue.
And the kid's wearing that Baylor onesie.
Yeah. So, I mean, I
Bless
can
his
understand.
heart.
So, I mean, taking grandma away at the time or whoever it is, I mean, I don't know that's not, I don't know. I've never been arrested. I'm not a cop, but I would think as soon as you can make the arrest, you make the arrest, right?
Right. James Kerr says he thinks more will come out. He's done some initial.
You having troubles there?
Yeah, it's just not going down.
No, it's not.
He's done some initial work, some initial research. Steve Kidder wants to know what's on the bonus disc. Junior Samples, you're not late. We haven't really done a whole lot. It's a Monday. What's after that singing commercial? Stay for the radio show. Wow.
Yeah, first rule of radio.
I won't be seeing y'all at the barn. Yeah, let the singer sing the song. Unless it's Adele, then everybody can do it. Or share.
The other option was to call CPS, and nobody wanted CPS involved.
No.
I can agree with that. So.
Remember share? We can do some share.
No, I don't do share. I can't get that falsetto. Get up that high.
It's computerized. She couldn't get there either.
Where to go? So apparently,
Cowboys suck. You want to go with that for a minute?
Yeah, that was
Suck.
a terrible game. Stamps won their first game of the year. They're 1-2 now. Don Everly passed away.
The Everly brothers. Was he the one with the high voice or the other? They were that high voices, didn't they?
Phil and Don, right?
Phil and Don.
Yeah, I think
the Everly brothers.
Phil was the other one.
We don't know which one.
Don was 84. Passed away over the weekend.
Were they the ones that sing? No,
that was the Righteous Brothers.
Time of my life. Nobody puts baby in the corner.
It was the Righteous Brothers.
Who else?
Who also I think were Phil and Don.
See, Tornbells just laughed at that nobody puts baby in the corner. What did the Everly brothers sing? Find us. Right. Our crowd's way too young.
They might be.
Maybe Judge Posey. Who knows what the Everly brothers
Rock and Roll Hall of Famers.
Well, of course
I got the list here. All I have to do is dream, wake up little Susie. That's the song. Bye-bye love.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Bye-bye love, bye-bye happiness. Yeah. Those three right there would make a career. All I have to do is dream, wake up little Susie. Yeah.
Isaac Donald Everly. Wife, mom still alive.
So
and,
what?
4 kids plus a few grandkids. No cause of death immediately. So
wake up, little Susie. They were out on a date, and she
fell asleep in the car.
Fell asleep in the car, and they're worried to death about getting home.
Yeah.
Brother Gary just walked in.
Time.
I think Brother Gary taught Don Everly.
That song had a different meaning when Bill Cosby played it.
Right. Wake up, little Susie, Ruthie. Yeah.
And then Rod Gilbert, New York Rangers great, passed away over the weekend as well at the age of 80. He was Mr. Ranger for hockey fans. The first New York Ranger to have his number retired, almost a point a game in his career. Spent all 18 years with the New York Rangers and was a pretty good one.
Christina Wise trying to help the program. How about the Little League World Series?
How about
there you have it.
I have no idea what's going on with Little League World Series.
You know what you see when you watch the Little League World Series? You see those freak kids. He's 12, 6'1", 195, throwing in the low 80s. Yeah. That's the kid that pitches, you know? I mean, and then everybody else is like, there's little Billy, and they're all like, 4 foot nothing. Then there's that one freak kid that you're like, wow.
And nobody can hit him.
Nobody can hit that kid. He's throwing at 70 miles an hour.
Jeopardy's looking for a new host.
I heard one the other day, true story, and I can't wait to see it because based on this last year, they need him now. Victoria East coach Wes Coley has a son who's an 8th grader,
right,
that supposedly throws the ball in the low 80s in the 8th grade. Now, don't forget, Wes was a pitcher. So, I mean, the kid's getting great instruction. And I mean, literally is apparently behind the plate, Ash is a gamer. Like, yeah. I'm not joking. Like, he's in the 8th grade. Of course, he grew up on a baseball field. He grew up standing by his dad while his dad said, "Get your footwork, get your footwork, get your footwork." So he's learned how to be a catcher. Apparently, he's really got game. Do you know this, Chomp?
No. And he hasn't been held back for 3 grades.
No, he is 17 years old in the 8th grade, but it lets him.
Through 8th grade.
He drives to the track meets. It's nice. It helps the other kids out. No, true story, folks. He's
got a CDL and drives the bus there.
When you say 8th grade and throwing in the 80s, you're looking at a kid that's
got potential.
A lot of potential. I mean, it's a kid that ought to throw it 100 by the time he's a sophomore. For real. Awesome. Folks, real quick, we'll do one more quick break, and then the rest of the hour is hanging on y'all. Motto Mortgage, Terry Murray, 541-5454. Terry Murray will help you lower your mortgage payment. Fact, period, end of story. Caller, Motto Mortgage, 541-5454. If you don't blame us when inflation hits and you're still paying a ton for money you should have gotten cheaper. Went Services for generators, solar panels, electrical, plumbing, emergency, home, residential, commercial, remodeling. They do it all. They are electricians, and they have plumbing work. They're ready to go. Went Services. They have plumbing because they sell a ton of generators, and a lot of them are run on propane and natural gas, and you have to have a certified plumber to make that connection. That's the law. So they have so many generator sales that it made sense to hire a plumber. Well, guess what? He can it doesn't take him 10 minutes to make the connection. He's got time. That makes them reasonable and available. So call them for your plumbing needs. And then USA Concrete Coatings. Our buddy Charlie Garcia.
Blowing and going.
He will come in and you just dial 578 home. You show him that patio you don't like. You show him that garage floor that has cracks and oil stains. He can make it all go away. He'll give you a quote. Most times he can do the work in one day.
Yep.
Reach out to him via 578 home. So I'm back to Ash's amazing content list for the day. We've talked about the Astros. We haven't really talked about the Cowboys. The Cowboys are 0-3 in the preseason, and they just look discombobulated.
Preseason. I just don't.
You think they're just going to turn it on? Has Dak Prescott taken a snap?
They're just going to turn it on, but it is preseason football, and I just don't get excited over preseason football because even as the games go on, typically the starters aren't playing that much anymore.
They did have a couple of interceptions the other night that I couldn't really put on the quarterback. Went through receivers' hands and into the waiting arms of the opposition. This guy Rush, his last name is Rush. He kind of has a Dirk Diggler porn stash. I mean, get rid of that. It's not a good look. You look like you're 21 trying to look 30. Get rid of that.
Scott Tonio says they sucked through the year. Preseason is worse.
Right, correct. I've got them 8-9, 9-8. I'm thinking 8-9 now.
I'm thinking 8-9. I just don't see them. Yeah, can't even go 9. Can't even go 8-8 anymore. Can't even be 500.
No,
below. But I just.
Steve Kidder says I can't even gloat. You're right, Steve, because the Texans suck too. That was like watching a JV football game the other night with kids.
It was not good. But I'll be honest, NFL preseason football is a terrible product.
Yeah, it's a waste of time.
It is hard to watch. The players, aside from the ones that want to try to make a case for themselves, but even then, some of those standout performances are so few and far between, and the missed timings. And I mean,
right.
If these guys are getting a lot of reps in practice, and this is what they turn out in the game as a backup, yay!
And at the NFL level, if they've been drafted, or even if they're undrafted free agents, there's tons of video on them. You know their measurables. He's 6'4", 250. You know his 40 time. I mean, you don't need a preseason
drafted him in the third round, and he's being outperformed by an undrafted free agent pickup. Guess who's going to get cut?
Right.
The undrafted free agent pickup,
right.
Who, because you've just invested in you're telling everybody your scouting department sucks. If this guy gets signed as a free agent out of college and he's better than the guy you wasted a third-round pick on.
What's the guy's name from Alabama that is the running back now, or a running back now for the Texans? He's played 12 years, Brother Gary.
It's the Texans.
Is it Hardy? What is the guy's name? Steve Kidder. What's the running back's name from He played at Alabama, and he's got great stats. He's a average career average is 4.6 yards a carry. He played for the Saints for a long time.
Oh, wow.
I can't think of Ingram.
It is Ingram, isn't it? Ingram.
Close, Hardy. Close.
Hardy, Ingram, H-I. It's right there. I was
It's right
one
there.
letter
You're
off.
one letter off. I think you're right.
Yeah, he's very legit. And to hear him talk was just like, I'm just trying to help these young guys, and I think I can make a difference. I think he's a player, Coach. He's a good one. So
word is, I think Cuomo's last day is today. He was supposed to step down tomorrow, but I think he's going to leave a day early.
Well,
that's nice of him.
He wanted to make one more pass through the office and touch a few people,
Inappropriately.
on his way out.
Proposition him in an elevator.
Right. I wonder who's going to ride down with him on that last. Probably nobody. That guy, you talk about a quick fall. That guy was on pace to be considered for a presidential run in 24.
Well, why else would they step aside and let him write a book and publicize it about what a great leader he is during a pandemic? And who else can get away with writing a book about his leadership skills when in the pandemic his state is leading the country in every measurable disastrous category you can measure this pandemic by?
Didn't you tell me, I'm hearing, Brother G, that this Delta variant is affecting more people aged 30 to 50
Correct.
than the other variant, which explains, Ash, the fewer number of deaths associated, because people 30 to 50 can withstand the flu better than the elderly and the morbidly obese. So what do we do? Where are we when there is a real concern? Kids are going back to school. There is a real concern, yet the numbers don't bear out the panic.
Yeah, I don't think hospitalizations are where they were at the peak of this. Question I have. We've known there were variants coming. We know ICUs end up at capacity when this thing is going on. We've been told for 18 months that this thing isn't going anywhere. Where's the ICU capacity? We've had a bunch of money that we're giving to Pakistan Women's Studies.
Why aren't we
adding ICU capacity? Absolutely.
And why wouldn't you build?
And I know there's some nursing and things, but still.
Why not build a regional
COVID center,
an isolated ICU, where everybody, you don't have to have private rooms, right? I mean, everybody there has the same disease. You just put up a bunch of partitions like an ER, and you just wheel them in. I mean, just things that go through my head. You could build a big, so that when you don't need it, the whole building is nothing but a COVID ICU.
Sean Penn making the tour. He's got to have a movie out because he was out pushing the vaccine yesterday.
Was he?
I mean, where the hell is Sean Penn an expert on any of this stuff?
He knows.
He's got to have a movie coming out.
Drugs, I think. What did ICE mean?
At capacity means number of folks that they can cover based on the number of staff, not the number they can physically hold in-house. Misleading info and number. But they always say 25% of our ICU beds are with COVID patients or whatever that is. So I'm if they're mixing the message, ICE, there's some.
But how about ICE coming in with something other than the price of jerky? Way to go, Justin. Way to rock it. Way to rock the factoids. He just came in there hot with some real stuff.
Iceman says if they got 6 beds, that's pretty simple.
Yep.
Now the mayor says people can buy over-the-counter COVID tests, and those aren't counted as a positive. Jeff Fonseca says Sean Penn is still alive. He's amazed at that. But I think it was CNN. CNN put him on the air yesterday as some sort of it's even left-wing nut job Hollywood idolizers aren't going to listen to Sean Penn give advice on anything.
True. I mean,
especially
he trusted Madonna.
Relationships.
He trusted Madonna.
But I mean, you think about Oh, and in his comments, he likened it to the Second Amendment. Well, I'm a pro 2A guy, but no, you're not. But anyway, but if you're walking around unvaccinated, that's like walking around and pointing guns at people's heads.
Right.
So that's exactly like that, and that's going to get people to go get vaccinated.
By the way, a little under the radar thing: the U.S. Joe Biden administration did ban an import of Russian ammunition, which means all of you that own semi-automatic, not machine guns, those of you that happen to own AKs, that 7.65 by .39 is not going to be that easy to get. That's a start. If you can ban all the ammo, people can keep their guns. They just have big greasy paperweights.
Yeah.
So that's a thought. Folks, we've got to get out of here. It's Monday, and we're right on time for the Hall of Famer, Ralph Salazar, along with his sidekick, Brother Gary, looking sharp today. Really, look at the brother man. Look how sharp he is.
I see the brother man.
Folks, if you need an inspiration, find a way to come. You should. I've sent you the challenge is to send me the Brother Gary pick of the day. When you see him out and about, take a picture. If you see somebody you think reminds you of Brother Gary, send us a pic. If you have a pet, that you call Brother Gary, send us a pic. Send us a pic, and we will share it on the air. The brother man is always upbeat. He's always happy. He feels blessed by the Lord to be here, and we are blessed by him to have him here. So enjoy the day. Enjoy the great music and entertainment coming up between the brother man and Ralph.
And we'll see you all mañana.
Bye, folks.
A pet
that looks like Brother Gary.
Still on.
I like it.